She was just 12 years old, walking home in the rain with worn-out shoes and a heart full of dreams. But that day, she saved a man's life and uncovered a family secret that would change everything. In the heart of a bustling city, where skyscrapers touched the clouds, there was a small, forgotten neighborhood where people lived simple lives. This was the home of Emily, a 12-year-old black girl with a bright smile and hopeful eyes, despite the hardships she faced every day. Emily lived in a small, run-down house with her mother, Martha, who worked long hours at a garment factory, and her little brother, Tommy. Their father had left years ago, and Emily only had vague memories of him. Still, she never let her circumstances dim her spirit. Every morning, she woke up early to prepare breakfast for her family before walking to school in her worn-out shoes. Along the way, she always greeted her neighbors and helped the elderly whenever she could. One rainy afternoon, as Emily hurried home from school, she noticed a well-dressed man lying motionless on the sidewalk. His expensive suit was soaked from the rain. Without hesitation, Emily rushed to his side. "Sir, are you okay?" she asked, shaking him gently. When he didn't respond, she called an ambulance using her mother's old phone and stayed with him, shielding him from the rain until help arrived. At the hospital, Emily waited anxiously for news. The doctors soon came out and told her the man would be fine, thanks to her quick actions. When the man, Mr. Jonathan, woke up, he looked at Emily with gratitude and a strange sense of familiarity. He took her hand and whispered, "My granddaughter?" Emily was shocked. "But you must be mistaken," she stammered. "My father left a long time ago. I don't even know who you are." Mr. Jonathan smiled gently. "You can call me Grandpa if you like. Your father, Michael, was my son. We had a misunderstanding years ago and he left. I've been searching for him ever since." Emily's eyes filled with tears. She asked, "Why do you think I'm your granddaughter?" "Your eyes, your smile, they're just like Michael's when he was your age. When I saw you, I felt a connection I can't explain." After he was discharged, Mr. Jonathan invited Emily to his mansion. The house was grand and full of luxuries Emily had never seen before. In the living room, Mr. Jonathan told her about the past, how he and Michael had once been close, but a disagreement about the future had driven them apart. "I've regretted every day since," Mr. Jonathan said, his voice breaking. "If I could see Michael again, I would apologize." Emily was moved. She promised to help Mr. Jonathan find her father, even though she didn't know where to start. A few days later, Emily and Mr. Jonathan set off on their journey. They visited every place where Mr. Jonathan had heard rumors about Michael, but found nothing. Then, Emily remembered something her mother had mentioned. Mom said that before Dad left, he talked about a small town in the West. Could that be where he is? Mr. Jonathan was hopeful. He arranged a trip to the town Emily had mentioned. Along the way, they talked and laughed, and Emily learned more about her father's childhood and dreams. When they arrived, they asked around and eventually met an elderly woman who had worked with Michael years before. "Michael, he's a good man. He often talked about his daughter and always wished he could go home, but didn't know how." Emily was deeply moved. The woman didn't know his current address, but she told them he had moved to another town for work. Mr. Jonathan and Emily continued their search. Along the way, they faced many challenges, car troubles, getting lost, but they always encouraged each other. Emily learned valuable lessons from her grandfather about life, kindness, and the importance of family. Finally, they reached the new town and asked around. At a small cafe, a man recognized Michael's name. He works at the wood shop at the end of the street. He comes here every morning for coffee. Emily's heart raced as she and Mr. Jonathan walked to the wood shop. Inside, she saw a man working diligently. His face was familiar, and her heart told her it was her father. Mr. Jonathan stepped forward, his voice trembling. "Michael, is that you?" Michael looked up, his eyes wide with shock. When he recognized his father, he was speechless. Mr. Jonathan hugged him tightly, both men in tears. Emily stood back, overwhelmed with emotion. When Michael saw her, he immediately recognized his daughter. "Emily, my daughter," he whispered. Emily ran to him and hugged him tightly, crying, "Dad, I've missed you so much." In Michael's small room, the three of them sat together. Michael told them about the years he had spent away, missing his family and regretting his decision to leave. He said, "I wanted to come home, but I didn't know how." Mr. Jonathan shook his head. "It's never too late to come home, son. I was wrong to be so strict. I just want you and Emily to be happy." Emily, sitting between her father and grandfather, felt warmth and happiness she had never known before. They decided to return to the city together. On the way, Emily asked Mr. Jonathan, "Grandpa, are you angry at my dad?" Mr. Jonathan smiled and patted her head. "No, sweetheart. I just regret losing him for so many years. But now I have you and him and our whole family. That's all that matters." Michael promised to be a better father and son. When they arrived home, Martha was waiting at the door. When she saw Michael, she froze, tears streaming down her face. Michael hugged her and apologized for leaving. He said, "I missed you and the kids so much." Martha cried, but they were tears of joy. The family was reunited, sharing stories and dreams for the future. Mr. Jonathan invited everyone to live with him in his mansion, but Emily asked if she could still visit her old neighborhood and her friends. Life changed for the better for Emily and her family. She had her own room, a library full of books, a big garden to play in with Tommy, and even a brand new bike. But what made her happiest was being with her family, listening to her mother's laughter, learning from her father, and hearing stories from her grandfather. Michael started a new job at a company Mr. Jonathan recommended, and Tommy went to a better school. Emily still visited her old neighborhood, bringing clothes, books, and food to the children who needed them. One day, she saw her best friend Lisa, who was amazed by Emily's transformation. Emily hugged her and promised to help her and the other kids get a better education. She suggested to Mr. Jonathan that they start a scholarship fund for underprivileged children. He agreed immediately, and Emily's hope was born. The fund helped hundreds of children go to school, and Emily often visited classrooms, encouraging the students and sharing her story. Her old neighbors were inspired by her kindness and determination. Michael became a devoted father, and Martha found a stable job she loved. Emily's story spread throughout the city. Newspapers and TV shows featured her journey from poverty to becoming a source of inspiration for her community. She was invited to speak at schools, encouraging children to never give up.
Mr. Jonathan was proud of his granddaughter. He often told people that Emily was the greatest gift he had ever received. As Emily grew up, she remains a role model for kindness, perseverance, and hope. When she was older, she decided to become a teacher so she could help children who faced challenges like she once had. Her family lived happily together, each day bringing new joy and hope. The story of the poor Black girl who saved a millionaire and found her family became an inspiration to everyone who heard it.
Emily's story reminds us that even the smallest act of kindness can lead to the biggest miracles. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe for more true-to-life inspirations. See you in the next story.